Greetings everyone, Zannrath here, and welcome back to more Everlasting Summer, where last time we were presented with a choice, which I think is the last choice we're going to have, right? It's going to be one of two endings from here now. So let's go with the keep going, because I kind of want to see what's going on in the city. Damn that Sovionok. There is no camp, no pioneers, and it really doesn't matter why I arrived there. My priority is to get out quickly. I'll go forward. I shrugged my shoulders, trying to express a minimum of interest. Yulia stared hard at me for some time, but then took a couple of steps forward, as if inviting me to follow her. Well, are you going? It seemed like, for the first time today, we got a bit closer to the city, like 100 meters or so. I was almost sure that I would reach it, but then I heard sounds of a car horn from behind. A bus, an Icarus, approached us fast, cutting through the night darkness with its lights. I stepped to the roadside. That's... Yulia wasn't around. How does she manage to appear and disappear so unnoticeably? Well, she's a cat. Stealth. The bus slowly stopped next to me, the door opened, and it's all the pioneers, right? Olga Dmitryevna stepped out. So their disaster was, I don't know. Semyon, why didn't you come back? I'd ask you to. I could ask you the same thing. You said a disaster had happened, and now you... Okay. She suddenly softened. Get on the bus. Uh-oh. What? And what about the city? That's why we're going there, to see for ourselves. I hesitated. On the one hand, it would be faster to go by bus. This road should lead to the city. On the other hand, the actions of the camp leader seem strange. We're going in the same direction for the time being anyway. Okay. I agreed and got onto the bus. The Icarus went in the direction of the mysterious city, bouncing over the bumps. It was too slow in my opinion. I was so tired that my eyes started to close. And what about Yulia? Did I just leave her alone there? Yeah, you did, basically. It looked like all the pioneers who had been in Sovionok had got onto this bus. Maybe she wanted to say something to me. However, regardless of my struggle with Morpheus, my loud snoring suddenly... my loud snoring sounded from the back of the seat within a couple of minutes. Day ... Right. Let's go. Hurry up. Everything is over now. Or not? I wanted to get out so badly and to not fall asleep. Is exhaustion the reason? Probably not. It was like I got close, it was like I got a dose of sedative. Oh man. People can't lose consciousness like that, and I never suffered from narcolepsy. My thoughts flowed fast and calm like a wide river. Nothing interfered with their flight because I was sleeping. But at the same time, I felt like I was conscious. I'm about to open my eyes and... We're getting like tortured, like Saw style. Nope. Actually, was Saw torture? Yeah, I guess it kind of was. Mental, at least. And then physical, obviously. An old chipped ceiling was looking down at me. A big crack divided it in two parts lengthwise, as if threatening to drop the upper floors on me. The computer fan sounded peaceful, but strained. Thousands of specks of dust danced beautifully in the air. The wind wailed outside the window, licking the frost-covered glass and then flying away, twirling the snowflakes in its wake. The bright winter cold moon looked down at my world, winking merrily. There was a ringing in my head and I felt dizzy. A nasty aftertaste filled my mouth, as if I had eaten the contents of an ashtray and washed them down with a bottle of vodka. The realization didn't come at all. I was intending to go somewhere yesterday and I had a strange dream about summer camp pioneers and their camp leader, about a strange cat girl and a distant city. I always forgot the end of my dreams. Did I get to the city or not? Wait a minute. Was that really a dream? I spent nearly a week in that camp. However, the clock didn't agree with me. According to it, only about 12 hours had passed. I sat up on the bed and tried to remember. My feelings and emotions were really vivid, but the events of that dream were covered in fog. I remembered girls, their tears and smiles, remembered joy and sadness that we experienced together, but their faces and figures were concealed by shadow. And there was a mine of sort, a bomb shelter, and then an island, and then a departure, and those damned grasshoppers which disturbed my sleep. and Slavia, and Lena, and Alyssa, and Ilyana, and Masha. Oh, Masha? Oh, man. That's interesting. And Yulia. But there was something else. Something beyond the dream. My life after. Seemingly a new a level of existence. Huh. So that kind of complicates things. I'm not sure if that is what it's supposed to be. Like, if that was the actual translation, or if maybe it was a typo, but like, when you throw in Masha instead of Miku, that kind of makes me wonder, like, what is the, what did that movie scene have to do with it, right? Like, was that, I don't know, does that inform anything that happened before? Because, like, the whole premise of that was that it was a movie, and then he had a dream, and then it still was the movie when he woke up, right? It was just a dream with all the zombie stuff. So I guess that is not like a separate thing outside of the timeline. That actually happened as well. So I guess in one of these random repetitions, it does change slightly, in the sense that it's not just the actions you choose to undertake that week, you know, ending up with a different ending with a different girl, but then that these random things where it turns out to be a movie instead of a real pioneer camp, that was part of the repetition, the cycling. So I don't know, that's kind of weird to me in that sense. Yeah. My life after seemingly a new level of existence, yeah. Yes, I had woken up many times, met those girls while being awake in this world, and then everything started all over again. This huge load of information just couldn't settle in my head. My memory was overflowing. I was forgetting something every second, and I couldn't understand what was real and what was not. All the events of the camp blended into one fantastic picture, a collage made from hundreds of works by hundreds of artists with different styles. Scraps of feelings, shadows of emotions, parts of memories. My life was ripped apart and clumsily sewn back together, and the result was something like that disfigured doll I had found in the old camp together with Ilyana. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you found that doll with other people too, not just Ilyana, but okay. Wait, or was it with Slavia? There you go. That night search for Shurik flew before my eyes with all its details, but I couldn't remember the face of a girl who was with me that time. All of them, to be honest. The dream was getting more foggy every moment. Will it be forgotten soon? I can't let that happen. I must remember. Even without details, even without faces, maybe even without names. I am sure it's not just a dream. It's something bigger, something very important to me. A voice started to ring in my head, and it was not mine. It was someone else's. It was quiet and distant at first, but it was growing louder with every moment, and soon I almost could make out the words. But it was probably just my imagination. One electrical brain impulse contained more thoughts than 1,000 books. I remember something in that dream that I left unfinished. The city? No, I had reached the city. Yulia. From the depths of my consciousness, the image of a cat girl arose. She stared at me furiously and moved her ears in a funny way. Was it not a dream? Was the week I had spent in the camp not a dream? I walked around the room, looked out the window. The outside world was the same as yesterday. I was on the verge of going insane. The silence of my flat was disturbed by the ringing of the doorbell. Who might that be at such an hour? I didn't want to open the door first. I was even afraid, but then thought that it was a good opportunity to check. Was this a dream? People in the dream and in reality are totally different. I'll open the door and see. I made it to the entrance in 2 leaps, pulled on the door handle without even looking in the peephole, and... oh hey, it's everyone. Who's this? Wait, is it everyone? I guess that's Lena. That's Miku. That's Slavia. Okay, and that's Ilyana, and that's Alyssa. Wow, they look totally different than what they look like in the camp, huh? Why are they all here at once? The girls stood in front of the door. Yeah, they look totally different. Like, Lena has long hair. She doesn't have, like, the bang thing going on. Miku has bangs instead of, what does she have, ponytails? Slavia has, like, a short, kind of tomboyish hair. Ilyana has... she had pigtails too, right? I think. And then Alyssa has, like, longer hair. That's like, I don't know, for some reason this reminds me of, what's her name? Person from Frozen. The older sister. The one that was, like, magical powers. Reminds me of her for some reason. The hairstyle, at least. The girls from the camp. But something had changed about them. Oh, no kidding. I didn't remember every detail of their appearance in the dream. However, Slavia's hairdo and Ulyana seemed taller. A heavy silence hung in the air for a moment. I was petrified, my thoughts frozen, feeling no fear or any other emotions. The girls seemed not to be surprised at all. "Hi," Slavia said happily. "Why are you standing around like a dummy?" exclaimed Ulyana. "How do you..." I got words onto my tongue, but couldn't form a sensible question out of them. I had so many things to ask at once. "Calm down, girls. You shouldn't shock a person like this." I remember Lena at once. Remember our life after the camp. Oh, so now he remembers all the endings. And Slavia, that conversation at the night bus stop. And Ulyana, our encounter at the university. And Alyssa at my concerts. And even Masha in the other world. But how? Well, yes, to cut a long story short, Alyssa started to speak casually. Don't be surprised. Do you think you were the only... Wait, don't be surprised. Did you think you were the only one? I guess we also kind of do look different than how we looked as a pioneer, huh? So I guess, I don't know, they all found each other, and they're like, wait, there's this guy that we all slept with at some point, and they're like, yeah, what happened to that guy? Let's go find him. And that's why they're here. In Sovionok? Yes, in Sovionok. You weren't the only one. We were there too. But how do you all together here? The point is that every one of us had her own camp, and you had yours. I mean, in ours, you behaved differently. Oh. Well, that's interesting, huh? Is that? I don't know. How do you know about each other then? Because, like, if all of us... So basically, they're all saying that, like, when they had their own dream, they were the protagonist, the main character guy, and everyone else was, I guess, kind of like an NPC, like a person, a static person there to behave a certain way. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just how it works. I wonder, is there there's probably like a mod or something where you could probably play as each individual character. Like, you could play as Lena, you could play as Miku, and you could play as Slavia, and play as Ulyana and Alyssa. But would it be like, how would that work out? Like, would it be Semyon as one of the routes, and then like for like you can do Shurik and Electronic? And was there another guy? Look, there's that strange pioneer guy. And then there's that other paranoid pioneer guy, right? Kind of, maybe. So, like, yeah. Or would you, like, just swap out, like, if you're playing as Lena, you just, like, you can go after, like, Semyon, or you can have, like, relations with the ladies. Anyways. Slavia sounded awkward. Really different. You chased me with that cake, I barely managed to escape. Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. It turned out that we remembered everything before you did and understood that they were not just dreams. Oh, great, I'm the last one to know. That's perfect. Wait, but how is it only one day has passed? No, it's gone on much longer. Yep. At first, I thought so too, that I only had dreams about the camp, but then people from there started to become more real. You started too. She sighed deeply. And those horrors. Seems like Lena will start crying any second now. Stop it already. I told you 1,000 times it wasn't him. It was another Semyon. What horrors? What does she mean by another Semyon? You see, there are many such dreams, many camps. Everyone has a personal one, and in each of them, you behave in different ways. Somewhere it is like that. She looked at Lena with sadness and went on. Okay, maybe, like, because Lena was the one where, so, bad ending, she committed suicide, and we did too. Good ending, we ended up together, had a life, and all that stuff. So maybe in her version, like, I was a crazy maniac psycho killer, kind of like how she was in Miku's, rendition of the story, or whatever. She looked at Lena with sadness and went on. Many of your incarnations told us about other camps and other versions of us. Oh, huh, that's interesting. That is really interesting. And other versions of us. But we were just dolls there, playing preset roles. I am not some doll. Yolanda was outraged. Huh. What if No, I don't know. I don't think there's enough evidence to suggest this. But I was gonna say, what if like every time we had a good ending, that was like us, real Semyon, meeting real like whomever, right? So like Lena, if it was like the good ending, we would actually meet the real one, and we interacted with her, like the real one who woke up and is like now here with us. But in all other renditions of this story, like when we were going after Miku's route, like Lena, that Lena was just like a preset role Lena, a doll Lena, whatever they want to call it. Anyways, we got tired of that, of course. We started to look for an exit, and one time I got into Miku's world. Yep, there it is. Don't call me that. But I remember the camp. The camp was completely different there. We were shooting a movie, and what's the difference? In any case, the dream repeated. Well, then we managed to connect the rest of the worlds into one for all 5 of us, and from there, it was all in the bag. Oh. So they were able to link their 5 worlds together, their dream worlds, and then now they were able to find me, I guess. I don't know. Alyssa smiled, and I recognized that smile. The only thing left was to find you. Why not, like, Shurik, or Electronic, or Router, however you want to call him? Are they not real? What about Yulia? To find me? Why? I certainly wasn't against it. Everything fell into place at last. Sovionok pioneers, the camp leader, these girls. What about Yulia? Who? Yulia, the cat girl, didn't you see her? Yes, someone did mention something about that. How could that... I still felt somewhat guilty about leaving Yulia. That's how it is. Each of us had only one world of our own, and you had many... what? Each of us had only one world of our own, and you had many of them. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Alright, cool. And then we understood that only you were connected with reality. What is that supposed to mean then? So all of them, they have their own world, their dream world or whatever, but they're not real. But they somehow know that there is a reality. I'm not following in right now. How did you understand that? Great question. A pioneer told us. Oh. Wait. Okay. I mean, the you who claimed to have been in that dream for a long time, some weirdo, probably gone completely bananas. Wait, so all those other pioneers, the ones that's like, the strange guy who's like, I just mess with people now, the paranoid one who's looking for the bus on Semyon's routes, I guess those could have been actually like us, like they were saying, like there's multiple worlds for me, but for all of them, they have their own, except in the worlds that I play, you know, they're just predefined characters fulfilling a role. I couldn't get everything they were saying straight in my mind. Okay, wait. I put all my thoughts together. And then how does that work then? Because then they have their own dream world, but they play like a NPC kind of role in mine. And then somehow they were able to recognize that they were dream characters, and then by finding me, they were able to manifest themselves from the dream into this reality. That's kind of far-fetched, right? But then again, sci-fi, right? But yeah, I put all my thoughts together. Then that camp was not a dream. Everything has been going on for a long time. There were many camps which had me and you, but each of you had one, and I had many. No, I don't understand. That's about right. Stop sulking. You're so boring. It was a lot of fun. For example, I never visited a pioneer camp. You probably hadn't either. But who was behind all this, and why? That's why we came, to find out. But how did you find me? Suddenly I felt doubt and even fear. Ulyana pinched me at once. Ouch. Just in case you thought you were dreaming, or you're dreaming. It wasn't difficult. Your copies could certainly be talkative if they wanted to. Okay. Or if you forced them to. Oh, Lena, did you stab one of my copies? Oh, man. Lena, the crazy one. Lena added quietly. So, first we met in real life, and then we came to you. Okay? Greet your guests. So, okay, maybe, wait. So I still understand... I don't still understand that part about them saying only yours was connected to reality. Because if they, let's say they are people in my world, and they have their own dream world, but they only had one, we have multiple, because, you know, obviously we're playing different worlds every time we start a new game. I don't understand what they mean by only your world is connected to reality, because that means that they are not they did not exist in our reality and had to come to us, or had to come to, yeah, us as in you and me, the viewer, and myself, the player, our world, in order to, you know, one of our parallel worlds, in order to get to this, like, real world. Man, I'm too tired for this. I'm always tired, but I'm just too tired for this right now. Forget your guess. Unbelievable. My life turned upside down in a blink of an eye. Obviously, I didn't remember this dream, or dreams, as girls said, in full detail, but I felt too that the camp was something bigger than that. It brought us together, at first there and here, and now here. Only the question of Yulia still remained. But might I know the answer? I could just forget it, just like I forgot many other things. Okay, I hope you tell me everything in detail. Sure, that's what we're here for. Well, come in. Don't stand on the doorstep. Tea? Coffee? Dance? Oh, Semyon, you sly dog. You're already hitting on them, and you just, well, I guess you already met them and done way more with them. But still, man, come on. Not in front of the others. Yeah. How are they all gonna fit in his apartment? Unless they all sit on his bed with him. Wink. I added, trying to calm myself down and trying to calm down and come to myself. Lena's eyes glared. Alright. We'll save the dancing for later. Credits? Maybe? Fade to black first. And then every story has a whatever. Yeah, there it is. Oh, wait, what? My bad. That was different. But I think it went slow enough that you could probably pause to read it. Something about just one something day. Yeah. My bad. I thought it was going to be the same, but then that last line. Maybe the last couple lines were slightly different, but they sounded more or less the same. Alright, so I got Harem Master 80 level. I got the Harem end. Cool. Great. So you just get pictures of everyone now. So, yeah, well, I think if they didn't have that weird kind of sentence, which I don't know if it's because of the English translation, or if maybe they're still trying to leave a little bit more, because obviously we still have the other ending, right? With, I'm going to guess it's going to be with Yulia, right? She has some answers, and we're going to get some answers of what's going on in the whole scheme of things when we go down her route. But if it wasn't for that one sentence that I spent a little time thinking about, like, I feel like everything would have been okay in terms of, I'd feel comfortable enough saying that I kind of get what's going on in this world. But yeah, so let's see how it all ties together. I really hope they do actually kind of, I don't know, like, if they just spell it out for us, like, might not be super exciting. If a game makes you think, I think that's good. Like, it's a mark of a good game when they make you think about things. But at the end, you really kind of just want to know what everything, and make sure nothing is, like, kind of left uncovered, I suppose. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and theorize along the way, like we're doing here. And then once the entire reveal is done, the game is over. At least I think. I'm pretty sure this, like, that's the one more route, right? The Yulia route, which is the other option we had. The game should be over at that point, and so hopefully we'll know everything. Hopefully this whole thing will start making sense. I think more or less it is starting to make sense, but hopefully everything will become much more clear once we go down that route, which will obviously be next time. So, until then, thank you for watching. Bye.